Hello, I'm Jason with Samus Prime. Today, we're going to be talking MPR Phase 1. Now, I'd first like to start off by thanking the other members of our team. It's been 4 long, hard years. It's taken a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of our time. And we wouldn't be at this point without each of them. So a special thank you to our other senior members, Chozo Labs, Ray 3D, and Sir Mangler, as well as our amazing and talented artists, Sardines in Space, Nerl, and Agent Papercraft. These guys are amazing. They've been very giving of their time, and we wouldn't be here without you, so thank you. So today we're just going to be going into what exactly you're going to experience in Phase 1 of MPR, what we're bringing to the table, all the features, aspects of the game that we've improved, and we're going to take a closer look at each of those things, as well as answer the 10 most burning questions from our Discord server. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so to start off, you're going to want to go to our Discord server. If you go and you'll see here under Project MPR, downloads and releases, this is where the mod will be when it's available, and you're going to be able to download it. It's going to come in a package like this. So what you're going to want to do is just create a new folder. You can do this anywhere you want, in your documents, in your C drive, or on your desktop. I'm just going to call this MPR. So we're going to go ahead and just drag it into our MPR folder, and then we'll right click here and just extract it here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start the mod, and let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features that you're going to be able to use here. So this is MPR. Now you may say this just looks like regular old Dolphin or Ishiruka Dolphin, and you're right. It is based off of Ishiruka Dolphin. It's basically our own fork of Ishiruka Dolphin. It has some elements that were improved by Tino B, the creator of this fork, and so we've been able to add more to the lighting system so that you can see the materials much better. But what I want to go over right now is just some of the features that we have in the mod. As you see, we have our MPR tab, and if you open that, we have our controller presets here, so you're able to easily choose a controller preset if you'd like, and load that up by applying the profile. Now in the future, as I said before, we will have the UI to match each of these. Right now we have the mouse and keyboard and I believe Xbox One UI in the game, but we're still going to be adding the Switch Pro controller, as well as redoing the native UI and other things. And then here in our HUD and reticles option, you're actually able to choose different presets for the HUD. As you can see, we have a default HUD, which is the normal one in the game. There's the minimal mode, which gets rid of some of the graphics and definitely makes the UI a lot less cluttered. We have the hunter style, which is the green, and then we have a red one, and then you can also customize your UI. Go to HUD tweaks, you can choose any color you'd like, and this is just a really cool way to customize how you play and just get a different look. If you're someone who likes to play Prime a lot, as far as maybe you stream it or you make videos about it, or you do random runs or randomizer runs or whatever, this is a cool way to just kind of make your gameplay stick out from the rest of everyone else's. We also have reticle options, which allow you to change the reticle in the game. As you can see, you can have a dot reticle, standard reticle, and no reticle. The MPR's dynamic reticles actually change with the beams, so there's a different reticle for each beam, and so that's really cool as well. And that's all. This is just amazing options that Sir Mangler has been able to add to the mod, and yeah, man, it's really cool. So that's how you access those. Another thing I wanted to show you was in the graphics settings, you still have your PrimeHack tab where you're able to disable the bloom and enable the GameCube gun effects into the trilogy version of the game. So those are all still there. And then if you're wanting to improve performance, I would definitely make sure store EFB copies to texture only is checked. It should be checked by default, but if for some reason it isn't, just go ahead and check that, and that will improve your performance. You can also go into the post-processing and go into the Ishiruka effect shaders to adjust how the game looks. If you feel like you want to adjust, say, the saturation of the colors, you can go into the pixel vibrance and adjust this setting, turn it down to remove some saturation, or you can turn it up to add saturation. And then you can also adjust the scene tone mapping if you'd like to make the game brighter or darker or whatever. And then the SSAO, if you want to turn that off, it'll give you a little bit more performance. With it on, though, it does add more depth to the graphics in the game. So there are default settings that will be on when you first load up the game. So if you want, you can actually just remove the shader, or you can add a different shader and change whatever settings you want in here. So yeah, and then as far as the enhancements, they're still the same. Basically, you want to make sure that the tessellation and force lighting is on, or else you will not see the material maps in the game. And then you can run the game in whatever resolution you'd like. So you're going to want to make sure you change that to at least 1080p, but you can go all the way up to 4K or even higher if your system can handle it. So those are those settings, and those are the same as pretty much any version of Ishiruka Dolphin as well. All right, so you're going to want to add the path of the game. So what you'll do to do that is you're going to go to your options and your configuration, and you're going to go to the paths tab, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to add, and you're going to find wherever your games are located, and then you're going to go ahead and select that folder. Once it's there, it should bring up the games. Now again, Prime 1, the GameCube version, will work with the mod if you have the correct version. In order to know that, you can go to your right click, go to your properties, go to your information, and it tells you right here what revision it is. See, I have revision 2. MPR will not work with this revision of the game. You need revision 0. That must be a 0 in order for MPR to work with that particular Metroid Prime version of the game. Trilogy, any version of Trilogy should work. As far as the NTSC or PAL, it will work with the game. And you can also do some things in here to adjust the performance. I would suggest for that going to Dolphin forums and looking up their requirements and some of the settings that they recommend for Metroid Prime Trilogy, because it's still applicable here. All right, now to your guys' most pressing questions. We asked in the Discord server if you could let us know anything that you wanted to know about the project, and so we got the top 10 questions here that you guys had. Now the first was from Goat, who asks, will anything gameplay-wise be added, such as implementation to make backtracking less tedious? Well, all the things that have been added as far as gameplay-wise to change the gameplay was done through PrimeHack. So everything Shio and Sir Mangler did on PrimeHack has been brought over to MPR. So you're going to be able to control the game in similar manner, and a lot of the features that were in PrimeHack are in MPR, as well as some exclusive features that Sir Mangler has brought to the project. And we'll go more into those in the future, such as how we will be making backtracking a little less tedious, not so much gameplay wise, but we do have some amazing features that Sir Mangler has enabled with the mod that are going to really make it interesting and fun. So look for more information on that in future videos when we talk more about phase 2 and future phases of the project. Since the Dread suit is being looked at for a cosmetic look for Prime 1, can we expect more than just that one to be alongside it, like the other Prime suits in their respective upgrades? The Dread suit actually is available already, but we're going to be upgrading that as well, and yes, we will be adding some different things to make the whole experience pretty amazing. And Steen asks, will you guys support UI elements for other controller types in case people don't want to use the PrimeHack controls, such as including PlayStation, Xbox, Switch Pro, etc.? Now that's a really good question. Now we do plan on implementing all the icons for pretty much every controller that you could possibly want to use, and the UI will reflect those choices. Some of those will be available in first phase and some will not. Those are things that we're still working on. In the first phase, you'll be able to use PrimeHack and you will have a UI reflective of the default keybinds. And in the future, we're looking to add just more variety in that. Our next question comes from Batch All Bro, who asks, how much more computer intense will this be compared to regular Metroid Prime on an emulator? That's a really good question. Now, MPR uses the Ishiruka fork of Dolphin, so if you're able to run Ishiruka Dolphin now and you don't have any performance issues, then you're going to be able to run MPR just fine. As far as the features we've added to the game, they don't add too much to the requirements of your system, so you should be good. You can also turn off some of the graphical features, as far as the shaders and things, if you'd like, in order to get a little bit more performance. And so I would say, if you can run Ishiruka Dolphin now, you should have no problem at all running MPR. Our next question comes from Jage, who asks, what's the hardest part about this project? I think the hardest part of the project has been the time that it takes on our part to invest not only in the actual work but in developing the tools that we use for the project. And that's kind of why I think the project took so long to even get to this part, because we had to figure out what tools we're going to use, and then we actually had to develop our own tools in order to complete the work. So that's been the hardest part, is probably organizing all that and bringing everyone together and working, you know, with everyone's schedules. Everybody has a life outside of the project, obviously, so it takes a lot of our time, and so we have to work it around our schedules and things. And so that's really it, you know, organization and developing the tools that we're now using. So the project actually should probably start moving a little bit quicker, especially if we can get more artists involved. But yeah, that's definitely been a challenge for us. McScree, who asks, there have been some rumors about Retro making Metroid Prime with completely redone graphics. If this ends up happening, will you continue MPR or move on to a different game or project? And then just to add on to that, we had Grandpa Circuit, who said, to add on to McCree's question, if you were to do a different project, would the project be another remaster mod, or perhaps would you want to create a full Metroid inspired game yourselves? All right, so these two questions are kind of one, so we'll kind of combine the answer. But basically, if Nintendo decides to completely remake Metroid Prime, you know, we'll have to look at it at that point in time and figure out what we want to do. I have some ideas of what I would want to do if we want to continue the mod or move on, say, to a different game. And as far as the game we would move on to, it might be another mod, you know, or we might decide to work on an IP ourselves. That's something that we have talked about as a team, and it would be amazing, but we definitely have some steps to go before we even get to that point. But that's a really good question. Thanks for asking. And last but not least, we have Caleb the Carpenter, who asks, how do I help with the project? There are several ways you can be a contributor and help us out with MPR. The first one is to actually join our team, join Aether Labs, get some of your work. If you have a portfolio, that'd be helpful. And we'll take a look and we can talk and see how you might be able to create textures or provide some form of technical engineering for the development of the project. We have other ways though. You can also assist with the marketing of the project as far as video editing and music design, promotional artwork, and all those things are things we need to add. So if you're able to do any of those things and you want to get involved with the project, just contact us on our Discord. Now, as far as other ways that you can help, we need people to help with the community building aspects. Our Aether Primus Discord server provide maybe timed exclusives or some form of content such as game giveaways, artwork, wallpapers, things, and being an active moderator. Now, these are all ways you can help us with the project and become a contributor of the MPR project. And the last way that we're looking to add for people to support us is through Patreon. We're going to have some amazing contributor rewards, including early access to MPR releases, early access to some of the Samus skins I talked about that we'll be working on, all the way up to access to a developer's cut of the project when it's complete. All right, so I just want to wrap up this video, and I guess the last real burning question that's probably going through everyone's minds is, when am I going to get to play Phase 1 of MPR? You can play Phase 1 of MPR right now. That's right. Go to our Discord server. We have the download link live now. You guys can download and play MPR Phase 1 right now. It includes everything we've talked about as far as the HUD elements, PrimeHack elements, the graphical elements we've done in Phase 1, which is completely redone the Orpheon with new materials and new lighting, and it's really an amazing experience. You also get the redone power suit, gravity suit, various suit, and Phazon suit. So those will all be included, so you have some really cool things to look forward to right now towards the end of the game. As far as the actual environmental graphics and the things that we're doing in the future, in this future phases, those are all still coming, but right now you're gonna get to play Phase 1. So I'm really excited, man. This is a fun time in my life. All this work we've done, we finally get to show you guys. It's just a small piece, obviously. It's just the first phase, and we've got several more that we want to bring along, but hopefully we'll be able to do that in a faster manner now we have all our tools set up. And if we can get some more artists involved, that's obviously going to help as well. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in to Samus Prime. I hope you enjoy Phase 1. Let me know down in the comments what you think of it, and thanks again. Bye.
Ready.